Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. So, JD Body Treats Self Care is a safe healing space offering skincare, crystals, candles, and more. And beyond products, her approach is to serve as an educational hub, teaching the community about holistic wellness, entrepreneurship, and self care through various workshops and events. And here to share more, we welcome JD Body Treats Self Care founder Georgina Jean-Dusseck. Hello and welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we're excited to have you. We're excited to share your journey. And most importantly, we're excited about your choice of practice, right? This is a conscious choice in being a contribution to society. And it is absolutely so needed right now.
Yes.
It is. But I do want to share with our audience how you actually had two brick and mortars at some point and where you are now. So let's take them on that journey as succinct as possible because I want them to understand the importance of feeling good about yourself in the process of how you're healing other people.
Right. Yeah, so originally when I started, I was just doing pop-up shops around the city. That's how I had gained my loyal customer base and the majority of the people that still shop with me till this day. And as my business grew, once the pandemic hit, my online sales actually shot up. I know some businesses definitely went downhill, but suddenly sales were tripling, quadrupling, and I was like, okay, like this is a thing. So I went ahead and I opened up brick and mortars. It was definitely against the grain because everyone was telling me about how like retail is dying and the retail landscape definitely changed drastically. But I felt like what I had to offer was so needed that it was more than just a trend, but that the world was really shifting towards realizing that we couldn't operate the way we've been doing it. Like we want to care for ourselves. We want to have balance in our lives. Like work is great, but we enjoy the nice relaxing baths and we need to spend more time with our families and spend times with ourselves. So I kind of just really ran with that and I was like, you know what? I think what I have to offer is really needed, especially here in the Bronx where there aren't a lot of beautiful spaces for us to go to in terms of like retail and things of that nature. So I opened up a boutique in the South Bronx along Third Avenue, and I opened up another one in Parkchester. And it was very well received, especially the Third Avenue location, which was a flagship. We did everything from like yoga classes to workshops. I expanded from just skincare. We sold a lot of things like bath salts, scrubs, body butters, the basics. But then we expanded to like crystals and sage and crystal candles. And it was just such a beautiful journey.
So, what came first? Like essential oils, candle making, the crystals? Like, what called you?
So originally, I knew I wanted to start a business, and then my children were having skincare problems that we just couldn't figure out with the pediatrician. So I started making skincare for them. And after coming out of like luxury retail and finance, I was like, I want to create something extremely luxurious. But I didn't really like the basic skincare brands that I was seeing. Like, it's lovely, but I was just like, everything just seems so cookie cutter. So I instead took a focus on aromatherapy and the mental and emotional benefits of plant oils and how they affect the brain chemistry and things of that nature. So I kind of just like took that and ran with it, but I didn't want to just like say like the only way you get this experience is if you drop some plant oil in a scent diffuser. I really wanted people to integrate it into their everyday lives through skincare.
Right.
So that's how I got there.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So, of course, it was a need,
Yes.
and then you expanded. So, how did you end up becoming a candle maker as well, and offering these experiences?
Yeah, so after a while, I took a shift from skincare because I honestly got so tired of people calling me a beauty brand. Like, I know it's so easy to look at our brand and think, like, oh, it's beauty, but it's so much more than skin deep. It's really about holistic wellness, care for the mind, for the body, for the spirit, for the emotional and mental well being. So I realized, like, okay, people kind of aren't getting it through the aromatherapy skincare. So let's expand to things like candles and things that people incorporate into their spiritual practices, like sage and self help books, because I wanted to focus on like the mental wellness aspect of it. Now we've expanded to journals. Um, and I'm trying to think of a way to go into it without going too deep into it. But
No, go deep
yeah.
into it because we need to have this conversation.
Hmm.
And I love when we can have this conversation because we need to normalize it because we
Yeah.
are in dire need of basically normalizing this type of discussion.
Right. Right.
That's where we are as a
Yes.
society, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you're designing this experience and this accessibility, as well as the education, right? So I noticed you have crystals in here. I know there's a rose quartz. I think that's an amethyst. You know, I myself am knowledgeable of certain things, but it's almost been because of circumstances.
Right.
It's been
Right.
right, and so I feel like that's where we are now,
Hmm.
where it's kind of like, okay, well, what can I try to restore balance,
Hmm.
which is what this is.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Yeah.
what are these round? Are these
Bath
soaps?
bombs.
Bath bombs.
So they're the things you
Oh,
drop in the tub
yeah,
and it
yeah,
fizzes up and it smells
yes, yes.
amazing, changes the water, different colors depending on which one you get.
And they have different scents.
Yes, they have
Yes.
different essential oils, different plant-based oils in it as well. That is amazing for the skin. The most of all, though, is really the focus on what the scents does to the brain. Just helping to calm the nervous system, relieve stress, especially. Just kind of this brand is really about just a person having a moment for them.
Right.
So the mantra is self-care, self-love, and it's about taking that moment for you to prioritize yourself and really see in this moment that you matter and that you can't pour from an empty cup. And we literally have a mug that says it. But
Right. That
yeah,
says,
it says take care of yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. So it's about the idea that we're constantly in a hustle and bustle of things. We're burning out for our jobs, for our businesses.
right.
So how do you take that moment for you to refill your cup so that you can pour in the best way? So
And make it a part of your
yeah.
agenda,
Yeah,
your daily agenda,
exactly.
not a
Yeah.
luxury, right? Even
Yeah.
though you refer to it as a luxurious experience,
Mhm.
it should just be part of your daily
Exactly,
practice.
exactly. And I'm definitely like a luxury everyday girl. Like
Me
I'm
too.
very extra, like the tea kettle, the
This right here is everything, right? I have bath
yes.
bombs. So I
Yes.
didn't know, but I don't have bath bombs this big. I was like, oh, this is a long lasting bath
Yes.
bomb.
That's the one where maybe you got a little Ziploc bag on the side to catch it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
But just experiencing the scent and the aroma that comes from it
Mhm.
while you're taking your regular shower, it makes all the difference.
Yes.
It
Yes.
really does.
And we even have unique items like massage oil candles. So a lot of the times people think of massage oil candles like, oh, I have to have a partner to use it. But it's literally a little candle that you light when like while you're in the shower, you light it, you let it melt, and then when you come out, you test it on your skin and you pour it on. And when I tell you, it's like you just came out of a spa. It's an experience like no other. That is like our most underrated, but the best product we have out there, aside from the ones I brought today. It's really so amazing, and it's an experience I wish everyone could
Oh
have.
no, and you came without it? Like,
Yes, I
no.
did. They actually sold out. I
Oh,
was just
Dios
like, oh
mío,
my
no,
god.
I want
Yes,
that one. I'm
yes,
like,
they sold out. So
why?
I didn't have any extra ones in inventory. We're replenishing them this week.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, all right. So we did open up with the conversation of your brick and mortar, and you're doing a lot of pop ups, and obviously you're doing very well with your online sales. But I also understand that you are really out to kind of become an altar of the holistic self care industry.
Yes, that's our goal. So JD Body Treats is actually a boutique retail chain. We had the two brick and mortar stores, and now we're actually looking to get into malls, and then we're expanding from there. It sounds a bit bizarre, but I'm gonna put it out there. My goal is to have at least 200 locations by
Nice.
2030.
Wow.
So hold me to it. I'll be calling you up when I open store number 200. But I really want to be a mega house for holistic wellness. So think like on the level of Victoria's Secret, Ulta Beauty, Lush, but really with an emphasis on holistic wellness. So instead of you just going in there and finding a bunch of stuff that smells good, you'll also find things like self-help books, journals, spaces and events for me to host like things where I can connect with the community and teach them the importance of mental health awareness and self care. So
Oh my
yeah.
goodness. All right. And you said it here first. I'm open. In the year 2024, I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay.
200. Well,
Yes.
you declared it right here on air.
200.
In
Yes,
front of
absolutely.
in front of our guests, in front of our viewers.
Hmm.
And you know what? I believe that you will.
I do too.
You know why? Because we need it. We
Thank
need
you.
it. We need it. And we need it accessible. And we need it from a place of being educated about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Not just doing it and winging it.
Exactly.
And then of course there's the intentionality behind it.
Hmm.
Right. So you started with the skincare, right?
Yes.
And you've expanded into all of these other areas with the interest of basically taking care of yourself.
Yeah. And the shift honestly really happened in 2022 when my mother and brother passed away just a week apart because they both lost their battles to depression. And that's when I had to step away myself and not only look at how I was living my life as an entrepreneur, like constantly being burnt out and overwhelmed and selling self-care, but not really practicing it in the way where we need to. And I thought about their situations and about how they really fought their battles so silently. Like even me being as close as I was to my brother, I had no idea the things he was going through until after he was gone.
Wow.
And he was my biggest supporter. He was my biggest supporter. My mother, my hero. But he was there every step of the way. I have so many pictures of him just like in my store, holding my bags. He came to every pop-up shop. He was really my cheerleader. And um, I wish that I knew the things I know now before then, because at a t- at for a time I was dealing with a lot of survivor's guilt, and that also came into why I shut down the first stores, and I just was so overwhelmed by the situation. But while I took some time away from the business, I was like, either I can use this as like a tragic story and like just wallow in what happened, or I can come from a place of empowerment and use it to help other people who are going through what they went through by teaching them and telling them like it's okay, you're seen. And whatever you're seeking, the love within that you find with yourself, those moments you give yourself can help you through whatever you're going through. So that's why this brand came to be about so much more than just like, oh, let me just take a pretty shower and like post this on Instagram. It's really about like prioritizing you and knowing that you matter and you deserve the love that you give. So love on yourself, and I'm here to love on you too. So
Love
that's where
that.
it
Oh
came
my
from.
gosh. Yes. So, Georgina, let's just say their names because
Yes.
we're going to acknowledge them because they are your ancestors now and they are here right now helping you move this forward.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared to say
It's
their
okay,
names.
but we got to say their names.
Yes, Keyshawn Brown and Gail Brown.
We're sending them light.
I am too. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
This is for them.
This is for them.
And I want to, I know it may seem silly because
No,
it may seem small, but I literally want to save lives. I want to save lives with
it's
this
not
brand.
silly and it's not small. It's so big. It's so huge
Hmm.
that we're here doing it together.
Yes. I wasn't supposed to cry today.
I'm sorry, honey. I don't have the tissues for you. It's a good thing the segment is over. Thank you for just trusting and feeling safe enough to be your full authentic self.
Thank
Georgina,
you.
everyone. Georgina Jean-Dusseck. Once again, we are talking JD Body Treats, self-care, and she's the founder. And once again, if you're interested in more information, you can. Oh, actually, she has a Valentine's event coming up. The Valentine Day Wicks and Wine Candle Making Workshop.
Yes.
And for that, you can visit her website, which is jdbodytreats.com. Stay tuned. There's more open when we return.